Hey there. Welcome to the Scuttle Crabbers, Week 6. This is unexpected of me. Hi, I'm Mr. Glorsnax, or aka Nitrodex 5. I'm going to be your wonderful host tonight, as usual, because my mother decided to continue her nap, and I'm going to let her rest peacefully, of course, as you let all mothers do. I am joined by the ever so lovely Mr. Mikeypooh.
Hello, hello, young chap.
Okay. I am
All
joined
right.
by the Ruined King enthusiast, SpiritTracks.
Yep.
And of course, our special guest, we got a New York Mutants possible best jungler in the league, Mr. Solomon Khan.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, all right, all right. So, Solomon, how does it feel to be a first place team?
Uh, well,
Are they
I
first
think it's
anymore?
Yeah, they still are first. They have
I,
12
All right,
wins.
yeah.
I have a question. How are we doing? Are we doing it by win percentage or number of
By
wins?
game wins, game
Game
record.
Yeah.
wins? All right.
Yeah, so New York Mutants are still first because they were 12-0, or 12 and 3.
Cool.
So they're 12 and 6, but they're still first place because they have 12 wins, even though they got 3 0. So how does it feel to be on a first place team, Solomon?
I think we're all liking the position we're in right now. And I think we're using uh our our leeway to try new things.
True. In the last 2 weeks, you have been named the MVPs as well, as long as with Hextex, your ADC has been loser MVP and two-time MVP already. So
Mhm.
really good to see you guys perform like that. I am very interested to see how you guys will come playoff time because I think you may have secured a bye. If well, no, you haven't really secured a bye because you go against LOW and then Rev, and then you have a bye week 9. So that should be interesting.
Mm. Yeah, so I think most likely you guys 3-0 Rev, and then I would say least, very least, get one against LW, so that puts you at 16, which is
So worst
a
case
good job.
scenario, you guys end is 12 and 12, which is not going to happen. I
I
don't.
would say worst case is
I say
50,
worst
15 and 9.
15 and 9, and that
Yeah.
may be enough for first. But you also have the bye on the last week, which really hurts you, actually. But you get an extra week of rest going into playoffs because while first and sixth place is only 4 wins difference, it's very tight in this area of the standing so far. I don't think it would be wise to say that you drop out of playoffs.
Yeah. I agree.
This is the playoffs talking episode, so we already have 2 teams on conditional right now, just because of their performance right now. Rev has to 3-0 everybody in order for them to make it. They have to beat New York Mutants, TKK, and the American Dream. GCC have to win out, and War and Tad loses completely. So
Yeah.
GCC would have to beat GCA, take at least a game from TPP, and then take a game from LLW.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that schedule seems pretty easy. It should be a quick 9-0, no?
Yeah, it
No,
Yeah.
should be a very quick 9-0. I agree.
I I agree.
I
Huh.
think you guys got it. Trust me.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, and then so Tad is still in the race, well in ahead, due to their performance against you guys. So
Mhm.
that puts them conditionally, or not conditionally. That still puts them deep into the race itself for 6. So Tad has to go against TPP. Hope if they take a game off TPP, I think that would be good because War is on a bye this week. But if Tad takes the series, then I would have to go to the head-to-head. I think War still beat Tad.
Yeah, they won 2-1. I think week 2.
So they have the head-to-head.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so they have the head-to-head. So War would still be in the standings there in 8th. It'll just be a lot more interesting to see how it divulges later on because War will go against GCA and then TKK. So I feel like the War TKK will have a lot more playoff standings behind it because that would be very interesting because I feel like that could potentially shake up a lot if TKK will probably go and 13 and 8 and then let's say War goes 9 and 11 or who are War's on the bye. So that's going to be really interesting. So even in the dream scenario where they beat GCA, let's say 3-0, and then Tad straight out loses, it is actually going to, I think, go to week 8. We should already know by who's going to playoffs for at least 5 teams. And then the 6th spot, I think, would be the most contested spot.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, I think 6 is between War and Tad. They're just fighting that out. I think first is probably going to be the
First is really
first and
contested.
second. Yeah, first and second is super contested. I think every team is within 2
One game.
games, one or 2 games. Yeah.
And if
Um,
TPP ties with New York, then they automatically get the higher seed.
mhm.
Mhm.
So I think most likely what's going to happen is it's going to be War Tad fighting for 6, everyone else fighting for first and second, and then
Actually, both
yeah.
GCA and TPP beat New York. I
Yeah.
forgot about that banger of a series. My bad.
hmm
That escaped me. So New York has to get a guaranteed win out in order
Yeah.
for them to stay in the top 2 and get a bye, which
Yeah.
would be ideal. It's just that New York does have. I think New York going against Rev would really help them as well. It's
Yeah. I
nothing
mean,
against Rev. Nothing at all. Don't worry.
we say it every week, but like at this point, like everyone's just thinking like, all right, that's a 3-0.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know.
I mean, you look at the past performances, and I mean that's kind of what you gotta think like. But yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, but I would like to see this week. New York Mutants. I think LLW is the match everybody's waiting for, because
Oh, we're
uh,
already getting to match of the week. All
Well, I
right.
mean,
No,
like
we're just hinting. We're
we're
just
just
hinting.
hinting at it.
No, I could. Hey, I
We're
could put in
talking
the
about
article.
we're talking about a lot of like playoff scenarios here, and it's really like interesting how this is going to play out. Also, I forgot to update TPP's wins. They are 4-2. My bad. Uh, it's going to be really interesting to see how this all does play out, though.
I'll give you my under the radar series: TAD versus TPP.
I think
I
that
Nah,
think
is.
I disagree.
I.
you don't think so.
Nah, I think Tad's gonna get a little rolled.
Tad is starting to find their rhythm. I think.
Wait,
I don't know.
actually, wait, yeah, no, the other 2 series look kind of yeah, I'll give that under the radar because the other 2 are even worse.
I was about to
Yeah,
say, yeah, you'd have to make to disagree with me. You would have to make an argument for the
yeah,
others.
no, I got nothing. I got nothing.
So
Well, you did get the first ever trade in ELU history, Mr.
Oh yeah, let's
SpiritTracks.
talk about that.
oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so
Donut PvP was traded from Rev to GCC.
yeah,
So
so
you finally got your jungler.
yeah, gonna be honest, I think it's a little too late. At this point in the season, we're kind of out of it and have the 3 toughest opponents. It definitely helps us. Um, like just going with like sub junglers and like swapping everyone around was not the move. So this will definitely help. But it's going to be tough. I will say that I think GCA, if we can deal with their whole mid lane, situation, how, like every other game, Forever gets about 30 kills. We can shut that down. I think it could be close. I think TPP is a little. I think that's not going to go well. And LLW, I think there's probably a good chance that that also doesn't go well. Maybe we take one, but yeah. So I don't. No offense to Donut. I don't think it helps. It's nothing to do with him. It's just to do with the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, if
Uh,
you were gonna do the trade, uh, because you only have one series win,
yeah, that was against
Rev.
Rev. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
week one against Rev. Then you got a bye, and then you lost to War, and
That was a yeah.
you haven't won since, which is really sad. Because then week
Yeah.
four, Young Trendsetter was gone, and I feel like
hmm
that demoralized you guys a lot.
Well, week 4 was when it was Halloween and we had 3 people missing.
Yeah,
So,
that too.
yeah,
That was the sub
yeah.
incident. And then week five against New York, no Trendsetter.
We switched everything around, and then yeah, this last one against Tad, where Mikey stepped up, uh, but yeah, wasn't enough.
Hey, it was unfortunate, but
hmm
now we're in a really interesting part of the standings as well.
Yeah.
So now it is going to be good. We're going to skip over one series because I don't know how much time I have, and I want to talk about the other series first. Tad versus GCC. Uh, that was kind of,
A roll. Um,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
what I say about this is I think this was the kind of series we've been looking for from Sonny the entire season. He got 25, 35, 40, 43 kills, and only 9 deaths. So yeah, that's what we've been looking for this entire season. It was no, yeah, it was against what, eighth place team. So um,
hey, give
it's
him some
less.
credit.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And but it's a very important series for them. And this, if he when he was going to step up, this was the time to do it. So we gotta give props to them. Also, Shries, Sh whatever.
Sure is.
Yeah, Shariz played very well. Jungle, I like the swap there. I think it really kind of helps. It really helped them out, and I think yeah, he played very well on the Vi. I just think that character is just broken right now. And then yeah, I mean everyone on that team played well. So
Yeah, I agree. This was the
mhm.
series that we've been looking at of Tad for a while,
Yes.
for especially for them being a returning team.
hmm
I think that no team has a clear dominance right now, which is also good because it makes for a lot of interesting scenarios.
hmm
And I really think GCC, I'm very sorry, but you've been pushed down to only conditional for playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do?
So,
What do you do?
so Tad is still in
No,
the
no.
race against War, but I think War goes on by. Then they go against GCA. So War last week will help determine a lot of their standings as well. Because War has
Yeah.
to take this bye week and really study against GCA. And I hope that they're able to, make it really interesting. That'd be
One
really
thing,
good.
yeah, I'll say about that. I think Tad has a good shot at making sixth. I know they play TBP and LW. I do think they can take one game off each of those series. One thing about these teams, Tad, I guess I can touch on it a bit here. Because I was going to mention this in the LW TK series, but both of these teams have pretty weak side top laners. Um, there's some Neffel is a bit less than Ruckus, I think, but I think Sunny has a good shot of just rolling over those lanes, and he could carry. So I think there's a sh good chance they take one game out of both of those series. Maybe win against. I'll just say one, and then I think they're against Rev.
Yeah.
Um, So I think they go 5-4 to finish out the series, the season, and that puts them at 11-13. And then I think War, they're going up against
TKK and
yeah, TKK
GCA.
and GCA. I think they win one, maybe two, and that puts them at what, 10 and
14.
14. So yeah, I think prediction. I think Tad ekes it out by one game into the playoffs. Just honestly, just looking at the last series, how Sonny stepped up so much, I think that really puts them into a good shot. Yeah.
I mean, I think they look like a playoff team right now. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe too little, too late, obviously, but that it's that team that's turning it on at the end of the season. But
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously they looked amazing against GCA last week. Looked amazing against GCC this week. I think they're
I wouldn't
starting to
say
figure it out.
amazing against GCA. I'd say good. I'd say better than
I'd say
what we've seen.
I'd say they were winning two of the games pretty much the whole time, although they only ended up taking one of the games. But
Yeah. That's
against a top team.
yeah. That's I'd say that's good. That's better.
Yeah.
If it was amazing, they win that second game or the third game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're gonna move on to New York Mutants versus TPP. Definitely unexpected for the final result.
Yeah. This
Solomon,
one
do you want
was
to talk about it?
yeah.
Yeah, they I think at least for me, I definitely didn't realize how much missing Nubity would kind of affect how we would play out the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think definitely TPP, definitely, especially game one, just played some real good League of Legends. Definitely kind of just outclassed us there, and then
Game 2
yeah,
is the Alawi game, which
right,
you had the best chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, what I'll say about this is, I mean, both teams have subs, but I think your guys' sub was a lot more impactful. I think
I would say
Brick Machine, yeah.
TPP's sub was a lot more impactful than.
Oh, I meant like
Yeah,
impactful. Like I think Nubity was a bigger part of your guys' team than Brick Machine is to TPP. Brick Machine's very solid jungler, but doesn't, I wouldn't say isn't really a carry threat, um, or a playmaker. He's more there to set up the rest of the team. I think a lot of the playmaking comes out of Wyke and Scalene. Um, and but in the turn on NYM, I think Nubity is a like solid core to the team. He does a lot of playmaking with bot lane and roaming. Solomon, I know you usually have a lot of good performances, and I think a lot of that comes from some of the pressure that Nubity has moving around. So I think that was a big impact, had a big impact.
Can I cut you off there? I don't know if we're wanted to do the impact players of
Oh
TAD
shoot.
versus GCC
Yeah,
before we moved on.
we should go back to that. My bad. Yeah.
my
No,
bad.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I would say
My
impact is Sunny.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
or MVP, yeah, Sunny.
Hmm.
I think that one goes without saying.
I would do under the radar as Dream too.
I would agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna say Dream. I think
hmm.
Shreeze was a close second,
Yeah,
but I
that's
think
like the runner up under the radar.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could give him another different prize.
I also want to throw out some props to their bot lane. They kind of rolled me. Uh, so yeah, good on them for that. But I don't think it was. I think they weren't just up there with Dream and Cherise for under the radar.
Yeah, and then Sunny just rolled all the
I
game.
mean,
Yeah,
I guess
I will
you,
say he got kind of caught off guard by full crit Vi top lane in game 3.
Yeah. Also, I
yeah,
think
I
they were
saw that.
playing really laid back game 3.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, I think everyone was.
I
Yeah.
don't know who to actually give the losers MVP.
I was leaning towards Mikey. I think the first 2 games he was the only reason we were still in it.
Okay,
And
Mikey.
Hey,
Yeah.
I get my first award. My
Yeah.
man, I've never gotten one.
All right,
Yeah.
I agree. By the way, Solomon, do you agree with these?
Yeah.
I was only able to catch glimpses of it, since it wasn't streamed and it was only from the top lane perspective,
Yes, say that was streaming.
I
Yeah.
would definitely agree with Sunny being MVP. Besides that, I don't think I was able to see a whole lot of the rest of the games.
Mhm.
Most handsome award won. Please do not feed Mikey's ego.
Please don't be. Most
Okay.
handsome award went. Oh yeah, I'm actually just gonna put that as the award I got.
All
Most
right.
handsome.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
I just
So then TPP versus New York. I really think it was a Nubity diff.
Yeah.
I think
I
Nubity
will
really
say-
sets up your team extremely well.
Can I say Mr. Machismo stepped up to the plate. He did well, but he
Yeah.
knows that he was playing out of his elo. I believe he's bronze or maybe silver.
I think he's
And
silver.
He just
And
got
he did-
silver.
And he did mention it was nice to play with people in this elo. I think he
Mhm.
learned a lot.
Oh yeah,
but
I don't want to just completely like shit
Yeah.
on Mr. Machizo.
Yeah, I mean, it
No.
wasn't just his fault that like
No, it
we
wasn't just
only
his-
lost it, but that was a big factor. But he did play well.
What?
For-
you're not
for-
on You're not on New York. What are you talking? Spirit.
What?
Wait, was
What?
that Spirit or was that Solomon
For what?
What happened?
for speaking?
Oh, I was talking. What?
We're talking
I
about
just
New
said-
York Mutants versus TPP, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's on my team.
No, I said he was on. He was on my team last season.
Oh.
I don't think I said that though. I don't know. He played well. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
I think he
I don't
played-
know what's going on.
It's alright. I think he played well for the elo he was in, and he admitted that in chat. He said, like, yeah, this is not my elo, but I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I do think if Nubity is playing, I do think they take one or two of those games.
All right,
I'd say
so
one,
I
yeah.
want to say this, okay? I do want to say this. If Nubity was playing, he would easily have the most assists in the league because he has missed a good 5 games and he's at 195 assists.
Yes,
Jeez.
he has a lot of impact on
Yeah.
the map.
And that's insane that he has 195 assists and the next I think
that's like
Hopeless
second or
has
third.
yeah,
right?
Hopeless has 18 games and has 211, which is the highest.
But Span has 196. Yeah, Hopeless 211. Yeah, so he's newbie 19. Yeah, he's like up there. He's like top 3, I think. Top 4. Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5. He's 5th. Yeah, with a bunch of missed games. So yeah, that was huge. Missing. Yeah. Newbie.
Oh, I accidentally got the wrong one person there. For the highest kills, it's actually Forever. My bad. I had that as Hextex.
Nah, not quite.
No, he's only 29 kills off. At least top knight support in the league. True. That's Nubity
Yeah.
right there. Top knight support. I do think with Nubity there, like the series is completely different, but it's just unfortunate. Thank you for Mr. Machizo for coming in though and showing up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Machismo. And it was
Mhm.
very exciting to watch.
All right, War versus Rev. Another Rev series. Another
Ends with a forfeit. Yeah.
loss. Another forfeit. Yeah, War just played their game and they won.
Yeah, I was playing the series, watching this. Whenever I looked over, it was just kind of brutal to watch.
Yeah, it
I think-
was, but I think.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to give out awards for TPP.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it this time. Most regular size Soko award when too many Sokos, 2 enter, 1 leaves.
I
The
think
mini Soko, the Soko Brother Civil War will be coming soon near you. It's gonna be this upcoming Tuesday. New York Mutants versus LLW, the Soko Civil War.
pay-per-view live. Just kidding. It's not pay-per-view.
Oh, you could pay me.
2 go in, 1 comes out. My own brother. You were supposed to
Oh
bring
my gosh.
balance to the Force, Anakin.
Oh my gosh.
Damn
It's
it.
true though. You were supposed to defeat the Sith, not join them. I have my clear picks for MVP and under
yeah,
the radar
let's
MVP.
hear it. Let's hear
Let's
it.
hear it.
Okay, well, I have White Wazowski for MVP because
I
I thought
agree.
I thought he popped off.
Yeah.
Under the
agree.
radar was tough. I leaned towards Scaling Circle because the plays he was making around the map was getting everyone fed. Pretty sure
I think it's scaling as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One thing I will say, it's like ISO does super well in a lot of his games, but it feels like a lot of the time, it's he's being kind of given kills by Scalene. They work. I found out recently that they're brothers or something, and their names are like, anyway, whatever.
What?
That's
Soko
like
and Mini Soko?
no ISO and Scalene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I figured that out, which blew my mind. But anyway, they work super well together, and ISO always plays well. I feel like a lot of his success comes from Scalene, which, again, like he builds leads a lot.
ISO says I didn't know I had a brother. I guess
Alright,
they're
shut
not.
Wait, am I wrong? Am I just?
Yeah, you are. My God, it's Soko with a steel chair. Okay.
All right. Wait. All right. What are
No,
are they
they
not
are brothers.
related?
No. Scaling and ISO are brothers.
Oh God, I'm so confused.
Yeah, he is.
He always does super well.
He
but
is my brother's smile.
It's it's kind of hard for me to like give him under the radar because I feel like Scalene does so much for the team.
I think
Even though ISO does super well, it's just he always kind of gets undercut,
okay,
overshot,
so
whatever.
this is what I would say about Scalene, and this is the biggest compliment that I can give him. Right, he doesn't have many MVP awards or something like that. But if Scalene Circle and they had a regular like platinum support, TPP would not be as dominant as they are. Scalene
Yeah,
Circle does
100%.
so much to help the map, and is actually just one of the best roaming supports in this league. And his like roams and everything, his brain, it really just helps elevate TPP super high. Because if they had a normal, I think like platinum support, gold support, I don't think TPP is ever as dominant as they are. Where we always have them, even though they may not be in exactly like that in the standings, and they'll lose a game, but we still keep them so high in the power rankings because of scaling.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I think I put Scaling Circle as under the radar MVP so much instead of MVP is because under the radar MVP in my mind is the person making the plays behind the scenes that's feeding the team. And it in my mind MVP and under the radar can be equal, but like one is just kind of more flashy and one is more behind the scenes. So that's why I usually give Scaling Circle under the radar MVP.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yeah, it was really interesting. Nubity and Brick Machine both had to go to a wedding.
Oh yeah. They both had to like see people love each other.
They both had to go to a wedding, and nobody just says it wasn't even a good wedding.
It didn't even have open bar. Funny.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So what? I like ISO. I don't think gets that many awards, but I still think like he plays super well. It's just like it's so hard to like ignore what Scalene brings to the team, and that's why he a lot of the time takes, I think, like under the radar or MVP
Well, this
away
is his
from
first
ISO.
award ever.
Really? Like, how is
What?
that possible?
We've
Yeah.
given Scaling awards, I thought.
No, we haven't.
Well, I'm pretty sure I have, but then people outvote me.
No.
Okay.
We never. Yeah, this is Scalene's genuine first like award itself in the awards.
I guarantee you, I've tried to give him more than one.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of surprising to me.
I think Scalene is just the pure reason why they are so dominant.
Who usually gets them? It's Mini
White.
Soko and White. Yeah.
Minisoko's not on that team.
What am I? All right. Who? Mini Soko's on New York. All right. Whatever. All right. Someone else talk.
Neffel got losers MVP week 1.
Neffel. Yeah.
Then it was White and Neffel. Okay.
Yeah.
Then where is week 3?
Those their bye.
That was their bye, right? Then White got it again with. I think that was like a team award we gave. Because they're not in under the radar either.
Who isn't?
In week 4. for a TPP. None of their team is there.
Huh. I
Are we
could
just
go.
bad at our
Why
You
jobs?
could go.
Is that what's going on?
Why is
You
for
could go.
Salto?
If you want to go back and look at the Alcove article, it'll probably have the
It probably
awards.
will. Let me make sure that we haven't.
Wait, yeah, for
Well,
Salto, wait, Hopeless is on TKK, right?
Yeah, how did Hopeless and
Yeah,
for
so they got
Salto
two under
both?
the radars.
Yeah, I think there was a mess up there.
I think we're just bad at our jobs, guys.
I think so too.
just bad at jobs.
I think so as well. I'm very
Uh,
sorry.
I don't know who to give under the radar to. I think Solomon did well. I think Mini Soko did well.
You mean losers?
Or losers, yeah.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Mini Soko. Uh, yeah,
There's only a
yeah.
week 5. Oh, under the radar MVP is Scalene. Yeah, okay. So that's just Scalene's second award.
All right, well, yeah. Um,
I was like,
yeah,
I know he's gotten more. Like this
Yeah.
can't be his first.
Yeah. I think I'd agree
You
with Mini
had a
Soko.
bye week 3. Week 4
Mhm.
you were there as well, and then week 5 you lost.
yeah.
So I
Week
think-
4 was against, I think, War. Yeah, that was the like 30-minute series.
Yeah. Okay. My bad, Scalene. I knew I was missing something.
Does our guest have any words about this series?
Yeah, you were playing. What do you think about MVP of the losers?
I think it. I think it would have been. I would have put White for MVP.
Mhm.
We
And
did
then-
we did put Wyke as MVP.
Yeah, and then I think their bot lane just played well in general, both of them.
Yeah.
So then who do you think did the best on your team?
Hmm.
Oh, you're never supposed to ask that. How dare you?
I think Mini did a really good job,
Mhm.
especially the second game, trying to do a lot.
I
in the fight.
yeah, I was gonna say Minisoko in that Alawi scenario is the reason that game dragged on for so long.
Yeah, I hate that champion.
Okay, man.
Yeah. I will say I think Solomon and Hextech did pretty well. It was a hard series, but they were. I wouldn't. They were doing. You guys were doing pretty well. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll shout you guys out a bit. But yeah, I think Minisoko,
Yeah.
especially in
Minisoko.
game 2, was very,
All right,
very.
now War versus Rev. We have to give out an MVP and all that. So
Just yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this series.
MVP, Karis. Yeah, we agree. Or do you
One
think
second.
it's someone else?
I think
Because I watched the
Karis-
games. Even though
Yeah.
Karis did get the play done to him, and Taka is gonna hold that play for as long as he
I'm telling
looks.
you, Taco's pretty solid.
Taka with the Vayne outplay and the
yeah.
clip submissions, he's gonna
Yeah.
hold that on to forever. I don't think Taka will ever let that go, and I don't think he should let that go.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that
that
was-
is a moment of pride for him.
Yeah. I will also say I think Sprady did very well. I think, especially on like the Shen, it's a pretty low, usually like low laning impact champion. It's mainly just there for the ults. But he did really well. He kind of took over that game, most kills on his team. And also in the Tom Kench game, he was kind of neutralized the Urgot. We've seen Urgots get kind of out of control.
I still think Fuchi did much better in the Urgot game than AS
Yeah.
Parity did, which is why I wouldn't give the MVP to him. We can give possibly an under a radar to either him or Kapesk or maybe Chief, but I do think Karis deserves it though.
Yeah, I think Karis did very well. Yeah, I agree.
Do you have anything else to say, guys, about it? Do you think anybody else deserves the MVP? Solomon?
No. Did
No.
we say Karis MVP,
Yeah.
Brady under the radar?
I
Under the
think
radar
as an
is an
argument,
argument.
yeah.
Under
Yeah,
the
I
radar
think-
is an argument here, so I want the guest to break the argument down.
Yeah.
So who do you vote for, Solomon?
I would have gave it to AS Prady as well, just because I mean he was also getting. I mean, of course he had the deathless both games, but he was also just getting CS leads and just doing a really good job in
Uh,
winning top.
I will. I
I
think.
mean, CS leads are kind of neutralized by the end of the game, though, because, I mean, in total, he was up 29 CS in both games when the fat lady sung. So, I don't know about that, because, I mean, even Sushi lost CS against Oriana in game two.
Um,
But I think it was more of like before the first tower fell. I believe he had about like a 30 CS lead
yeah,
before
I
the
think
first like
that
the
was
top
it.
tower fell.
It was pretty big in laning. He had a lot of control in his lane. Um, I do think you're shouting out Kapesk and is solid. I don't really want to give that to him. I think he played well. But
Okay.
I don't think it was. I think a lot of their success came from the bot lane. So I think Chief Patar is like my Chief Patar and Asprady are my
Two picks.
yeah. Um,
Okay, Mikey, what do you
I'm
think?
leaning toward Asprady, but
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
leaning towards Brady. I
Okay,
think.
so then Brady gets it because he has three votes. So,
yeah.
hey, that's fine with me.
I think I would assume we're all looking at probably Taco for MVP of the losers. Maybe.
Yeah, I think Taco did very well. I will say game one, not so much, but game two, Fichi did okay, a lot better than what we've seen previously. I still think it's Taco, but I want to shout out Fichi for that. He stepped up in that second game.
Let's go, Taka. You got an MVP, baby. It's maybe of the losers, but you did it, baby.
You did it.
Yeah, Taco. Um, yeah, also Dr. Aluro.
I think
Uh,
Dr. Alua always performs the best on
yeah,
Rev,
what I
and
don't I
he.
mentioned this a couple weeks ago where like he was playing super well and I think I wanted to see them play more around mid. I don't think they really did that this series, which I really think could have helped them out. So I
I
think
don't think Dr. Alua would mind if Taco is able to, steal one of them, because,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, of
I
course.
don't think he'd mind if he gave up one
I
over.
don't think he would mind too much if he gave up one, because I think Taco needs the morale boost,
Also,
especially after playing.
I do think Taco had better KP that overall than Dr. Aluro and
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but Dr. Aluro is like a super ahead CS wise. I mean, 197 to
yeah, fair.
129.
Yeah,
my
fair, fair.
yeah, what I'm saying is like I think Taco gets MVP. I think Dr. Aluro in the past, like what we said, has been a big part of why they're um, still in the games. In this series, I didn't see that, and I think they need to keep playing around mid a bit more. I think if you get mid ahead, he was ahead in CS wise, but I think you get him some more kills, and then you help him move around the map. Because in the past he's done well on I think like LeBlanc and Vex and a lot of these like roaming champions. Um, he does well in Syndra too, but I think if you allow him to move and impact bot lane, then I think again that's their recipe for taking the game. And I just didn't see that this series, which I mean, I honestly I haven't seen it that much from any of the series, but I've been looking for it the past 2 or 3 weeks, and I just didn't see it.
Okay,
And
so
I think
then
they need to do that. Yeah.
here we go. The most watched series this season. Everybody's going to want to talk about it. I think a lot of external factors dominated this series
Uh,
because me and Thigh High were going through very difficult times. I was in a stomach virus and I had a death in the family as well. So I would literally just. It was very tough for me to even play because I was just in a lot of pain as well. But I don't.
sure.
That doesn't excuse how I played. I could have played the series a lot better.
See, what I think happened was TKK abused the weak side top lane. They picked Camille into Ornn and Cho'Gath and hard rolled the lane.
I agree.
And then
I think
so
I think Peels definitely deserves MVP of this series.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Peels is the reason why they were able to play so well
I'd agree with that.
because the Camille kind of unlocked everything. The Camille into the Zoe comp wasn't really good.
Mm-hmm.
Or with the Zoe comp into Camille, because if Camille got ahead, then the Zoe comp doesn't really work. And, it's just, it was kind of disheartening to read the chats after the game, but I guess that just comes with us being LLW and me having Stormblade as my mid laner,
Yeah.
which sucks, but it doesn't matter too much to me. I'm a big
Yeah.
boy. I can take the abuse.
Um, but so I think I mentioned this, maybe it was last week or the week before that, but a lot of the top lanes in this league just seem to be like weak side. Let's scale up on a tank. Let's roll into the drag fights and just be this unstoppable wall, and no one really pays attention to the top lane. And I think TKK did a really good job, like kind of abusing that. I think Sunny is the only person we've really seen play Camille or like in Tad's like when Sunny plays top, plays strong side top. And I think that if you can pull off the things like the Camille, maybe even like a Jax or some other like scaling fighter, Fiora, I don't know, into these tanks and just really just abuse them and then scale up and then roll into the team fights ahead and just Thanos snap an ADC with your Cho'Gath um, that it can be a very good way to snowball games. Because a lot of the times you just get these mid laners rolling around, picking up kills, and if you can kind of stop that or like play safe for the first two Jags, maybe give those up and play for Heralds, and then come in with a Camille or again like a Camille or a Jax who's just gonna do a lot more to an even mid laner or an even ADC, then that's a good way to win. And I think TKK really executed on that.
I agree. I just think that series was unfortunate for us. I'll let the other people talk about the series because I know everybody
Hmm.
else was watching. So, Mikey, your thoughts on the series?
Well, I for one am super excited that one of the new expansion teams is doing well. They
Two
have
of them
now
are doing
beaten the
well.
top. They have now beaten the top two teams 2 weeks in a row. Um, and as far as our power rankings go, anyway.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm definitely a huge fan of TKK. I recruited their captain as well as War's captain
Oh,
to be in our
so
league.
you're the reason. So it's because of you.
Yeah, it's because of me.
That they're doing so.
I,
it's, it's
I,
because of me. There's all the new expansion teams. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
Mikey is just
but
the
I do
lifeblood
want
of
to
this league.
say that everything else in this league has kind of been different because most of the top teams, you either ban out mid lane or ban out ADC. If TKK, you have to ban out top side, which doesn't really happen a lot.
You also have to ban out jungle,
You have
because
to ban out
Fiddlesticks,
jungle and top side,
yeah,
which doesn't
Fiddlesticks.
happen.
Hmm. You have Fiddlesticks. You guys beat it in game three, but his Fiddlesticks is very good. His Nocturne's very good. Trundle is always just everyone plays Trundle for some reason. Probably because there's tanks everywhere. But
Yeah.
also, Fidsick flexes the Morgana with Hopeless. And I think that's a very good because Germsam plays Caitlyn, so you can play the Caitlyn Morgana lanes, and then or if you don't like the matchup, you can flip that to the jungle and then just go like I think Predator Morgana and just run at people and ult them for ganks, which is in that game one against Zoe, pretty immobile. Against Ornn, you're not immobile, but you can get locked down in the Camille and just chain CC'd. So it's a very good situation they got going on in the jungle. And yeah, the top lane, Peels was doing really well.
Okay. I
Um,
mean, Solomon, do you have any thoughts on the series?
Yeah, I think Peels is kind of continuing his domination of
Dominance?
top lane
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think
past couple
Hales is
games.
the second best top laner. And
Yeah.
of course, Mikey, what did you have to say earlier before I cut you off so rudely?
oh no, no, there was nothing. It was
You were just
just
patting yourself on the back for introducing those teams.
yeah, you know the. I'm glad the expansion teams can be kicking all your guys' butts, actually including New York Mutants, with Solomon Khan's a part of, which is
Mhm.
nobody's the captain of, obviously.
Did TKK beat New York Mutants?
No, I think it was a
Uh,
1-2.
One,
They
two,
won the
yeah.
Yeah,
first game and lost the next two.
yeah,
I will say, but that was Peels was ADC for that series.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to see what they would have looked like if they had Peels in the top lane
yeah.
for that
Mhm.
one.
I think it's a definite difference, but
Mhm.
I would like to congratulate TKK for finally beating LLW. You broke our series win streak across 2 seasons. Uh, that's an award. I feel like the Kingslayers is a really good title, even though we're not exactly at the top of the standings. I think
Mhm.
I just want to give them props. That's it. I just want to give props to TKK. They were
Yeah.
very respectful as well. I think if we had to give it like a most honorable team, it would be them
Mhm.
because I really
Yeah.
don't see them in trash talk all the time. I don't think
Yeah,
I've
they're
ever seen them in trash talk.
a pretty nice team. Like I've played some games with
Oh,
Vidsick
never
just
mind. The
casually.
germ sand thing.
Just
I think that was the
sure.
only time I saw any TKK member in
Mm,
trash talk.
Yeah. And they're super fun to play against. Like like you said, they're not disrespectful. They're a good team. I don't know, they're a good addition to the league. Thank you, Mikey. Um,
No problem.
yeah, and they're like I don't. In the beginning, we had them rated like fifth or sixth or something, but they've really stepped it up. They had that unfortunate week one against GCA, but and then against New York they won two. But since then, they've gone four series wins in a row, dropping three games. They went 2-1, 3-0, 2-1, 2-1. And I think their schedule coming up, they got Rev 3-0, they got a bye, and then they got War, which I think is another 3-0. So I think they win out this year, and I think what that puts them at 16 and 8. I think that's in contention for a bye, but definitely third or fourth place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. TKK, good job.
Uh, Impact
MVP.
players,
Yep,
yeah,
MVPs. I'm getting to it right now. MVP is Peels.
100%.
Yep.
Uncontested. Germ Sand performed well game two,
hmm
and he
For
deserves praise for that
Yeah, for
because
me, under the radar for me is Germ Sand or for Salto. Um, yeah.
God, it hurts looking at the TKKs. I think Stormblade also just wins, loses MVP because Stormblade things. I had the same KDA all three games. 465, 462, 4611.
Yeah.
Okay. That sucks. Not my best performance, though. Very not my best performance. I could have done a lot better. I
hmm
mean, in all honesty, we probably should have rescheduled. We just didn't,
Yeah.
and it cost us. But it's also not something I can use as an excuse.
Yeah.
Because if I was, sick and Taihai is going through a lot of personal issues right now, I don't want to just say, like, oh, we lost because we were just having a bad week. And while we were, they were just the better players that series. Because they also did a very good draft, and the 3 hour study session against us the night before really helped them as well to understand exactly what they need to ban as well. So it is a prep diff. I do want to give them credit for that because I don't know any other team here that would spend 3 hours talking before they face off against LLW. So
hmm Yeah. Um, what do you guys think about under the radar? Yeah, Mikey, Solomon.
I'd probably give the slight edge to Germ Sand.
hmm
Probably. That's a tough one. I honestly. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think I slightly lean to for Salto just kind of because of that game one anti flank. I think kind of was a big reason why the game swung in their favor.
hmm
And that one
Um,
flank.
I also lean towards Persalto. Mainly, I think you're going up against Stormblade, arguably in the Stormblade rankings, #1 mid laner. I would put him top three. I think there's an argument to be made for the other two up there. Um, but also that flank and in the game they lost, I think he was the person holding them in for. I mean, it wasn't a super long game, but he was the one that was the shining light. Um, and also, like Annie, I think she's pretty straightforward. Like you just queue minions, but you have to have these like impact Tibbers, or else you're just kind of useless. And I think his Tibbers, flash Tibbers, flanks, and engages were very on point.
Huh, that's interesting news I just read.
What's that?
Cloud9 is pursuing LS as head coach of their roster.
Nope. All right. I don't want to hear about that.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So then,
what's
losers MVP or
Stormblade, I think.
under the radar MVP for you, Solomon?
I think it has to be Storm.
No, under the radar
I said for Salto.
for Salto. Spirit, you also said. What did you
Yeah.
say for Salto?
I said for Salto,
Mikey?
with Germ
I'm
Sand
fine.
as a
I'm
close
fine
second.
with I'm fine with Versalto as well. I said Germ Sand, but both are equal to me, honestly.
Okay. So that is for Salto's technically fourth under the radar MVP.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
All right.
Actually, no, that is his fourth. Why does he have a 2.5? That doesn't make sense. There's no 0.5s. Yeah, that sucked. TKK, good job.
Mm-hmm. All right. Power rankings.
I have my power rankings already done. I will
So-
wait for my other people here to have
All
them
right.
as well, because I also want to use
want me
this.
Do you want me to post mine or what?
Yeah, post yours and then Spirit post yours, but I'm gonna ask a couple of questions, Solomon.
All right.
I'm
So
gonna catch you off guard with this, Solomon.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, so how does it feel the environment playing with New York?
I think it's pretty good. It's kind of fun being there when Minnie and Minnie and Toad are kind of joshing back and forth. They're trolling. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
Like,
I don't know who Josh is. So.
It's like they troll each other.
Yeah, Mini Soko and who though? We don't know who Josh
Toad.
is. Oh, Toad. Okay, Toad is Josh. Thank you. We didn't know his name. uh, so then, how does it also feel having when the games do have nobody in them? Do they feel a lot easier? Just having that rock in the bot lane for you?
Well, I think kind of realized after the series that he kind of was a lot of times our primary source of engage, and I could definitely feel it the second game where we kind of didn't really have a way to start a fight. We had a good team comp to if they engaged on us, but we had really no way to start a fight. So yes, I think nobody is our rock.
Nobody is. I would agree with that. I think nobody is your rock, just like Stormblade's our rock.
the Rock. It's about drive.
It's about power.
All right.
So then, how did your team go after losing game one of that series? Like, were your mentals completely blown? Did you just say, all right, guys, let's just reset, try again for game two? Because game two was a lot more competitive, I feel, than game one.
Yeah, I think we kind of changed up our draft a little bit, and I think we knew everyone kind of made some little individual mistakes, and that we didn't really let it bother us. I think we came into game two at least with a lot better draft plan.
A lot better mindset as well, I would say.
Yes.
And then game three happened. While it did drag out for a long time, which I would say 36 minutes, especially how far down you were also well. But I do think it was potentially a nice little learning experience, even though you had the Zonias on the Volibear Predator jungle.
Isn't that standard?
Is it standard? I don't know. I don't see that champion.
I'm pretty sure you usually go like Sunder, Sterex, and then into Zonias.
Yeah.
I see that a lot of the times.
Cringe. Hate that champion. As well as I really do think that top side as well is your winning side as well. I think Minisoko is the third best top laner or second best, depending on who it is as well, versus Peels. I think if you guys would have had Peels top versus Minisoko, it would have really helped us decide who would be the better top laner. But right now, we just kind of have to go off like hypotheticals, like who's more important to their team. I think Peels is more important than Minisoko is, like barely edging him out. So I also feel that as well. Uh, and then as well, I do think the power rankings are ready. Do you have your own, Solomon, that you want to say?
Um, I mean, I think I can just kind of list them off, I guess, real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to like write it down somewhere, and then we can compare it because I know you can't see the channel where we have all of ours written
I
down.
think I should be able to. I think I should be able to just kind of shoot them off.
Okay, then you go ahead, start them when you're ready.
I think for me the top would be TPP, then LLW, then GCA, then NYM, then TKK, then TAD, then War, then GCC, and then Rev.
Okay, interesting. So you have TAD above War.
I got that
Yes.
too. Yeah.
That's interesting because
As long as Sunny's top.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think with Sunny top, then TAD actually go a lot higher as well.
Yes.
And then final question: are you looking forward? Are there any more matchups you're looking forward to? Because you do have a week 9 bye. So are you looking forward to the LLW matchup?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I think that's pretty huge. I mean, not for our own match, but I think one of the most exciting ones would probably be the TPP versus GCA, very last matchup. I think that
I think
should
that
get some
is the most hype
shakeups.
matchup, and it's the last matchup
Yep.
we have all season. So that should be good. Uh, but I think New York Unions versus LLW is our game of the week, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. So I think that's already been predetermined. So let me go ahead and mark it so I don't forget it. But anything else you want to say to your possible fans?
Uh, I I think the whole of NYM is looking forward to the playoffs
Okay. Do you think
with
you'll
their
end
eyes
with a
set.
bye? Because top
I
two
think
is
it's
a
definitely
bye.
possible. I
Top two
think it's
is a
definitely
bye. I
possible.
think you
Yep.
you have to beat LLW for a bye.
Yes, I think we have to be LLW, and then I think it depends
Uh,
how the TPP GCA series ends up going.
That's true. That
It's
will
a
also
3-0
depend
too.
on who gets a bye because I think GCA beats War, GCA beats GCC, and
I think
then
GCA beats everyone.
yeah, I think GCA would go worst 5-1, so they'd be 16-5, and you guys would be. Oh, it's really
I
hard
would say
actually.
that's best. I'd say worst is I think schedule.
Worst it
Um,
would be 4-2. I don't
so
think
I think GCA three O's. GCC I think they
2-1.
3-0 war, and I think they get 1-2 or 2-1. So they go 7-2, maybe 6-3.
Yeah, and then New York has to beat LLW in order for them to stay in the top of the race.
Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah.
Shouldn't be too hard. We just lost, so hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Solomon. So nice, interesting power rankings. I'm gonna go ahead and say off our other co-casters here before I say mine. I was super tough on my team this week, but not as tough as
Not as
SpiritTracks
tough as me.
was. So Mikeypooh's rankings are LLW number one, GCA number two, TPP third, TKK fourth, New York fifth, War sixth, TAD seventh, GCC eighth, ninth Rev, which I think is too much
Yep.
credit for my team. Uh, Spirit has
Yeah.
TPP one, TKK two, New
Oh,
York Mutants third, GCA fourth, LLW fifth, TAT sixth, War seventh, GCC eighth, and ninth Rev.
Yeah, you know it.
I
I think
think
you have
that's.
GCA too low. I think you have GCA too low.
I think you have GCA way too low.
No, I mean, I said it last week. I'm gonna say it again. I feel like their playstyle is very predictable. It's mid lane gets ahead, and then they steamroll, and if that doesn't happen, then it's kind of a rough game for them. Um,
All right.
All right.
I think it. I mean, yeah, like when Forever gets ahead, it's a done deal.
I think
But I
Forever's
think
he's only lost one game while he's ahead.
yeah. But when he's not like steamrolling a game or then the rest of the team, it's not as they don't really seem to know what they're doing, in my opinion. I say this every single week. They keep putting span away on these peel supports, and I hate it. Put them on engage. Like if Forever's behind, I think they need some other way to get picks, start fights, and I'm just not seeing it from them. Um, so it's made me lose a little faith. I do still think they're a good team, but I think New York and well, for I think TKK they beat the top two power ranking team we've had. They beat LW and TPP. I think they deserve to be up there. Maybe I'm overhyping them a bit, but honestly, that's kind of what I've been doing the entire season with these power rankings. I just go off my gut feeling, and I feel like they're up there. I feel like
I don't know
yeah,
what you're talking about because Spanaway's mostly been playing Thresh and like
Peel, yeah,
engage supports.
Rush is
With
Peel,
you count Thresh as Peel?
100%.
I think
I
it's Peel.
I count
Like
him as engage because
your
of the
your
hook.
engage is a hook. Like engage, I see like Alistair, I
He plays
see
Rakan.
Rakan. He's had some Rakan games, yeah, and they've been good. But what it's
Are you
been
expecting something like a Rel? Is that
I'm
something?
expecting Rakan. I don't like Leona shouldn't be left up against him like that. I think Alistair, I don't know if he plays it. Rel, I think they're somewhat difficult champions to master, but I think they're pretty easy to pick up. You just get into a flank position and hit someone. Um, I told him to play Vi support. Uh, I don't
Well,
think he has yet,
he also
but
played Galio as well.
that's Peel.
Galio is Peel?
Yeah, it's you have engage with flash taunt every 5 minutes or 4.5 if you take the thing. Otherwise, you're ulting and peeling people off your backline with taunts and knockups.
Okay. I
Sets
just
as well.
I
I
just say
think.
like the secondary engage with Galio is a lot better than the peel that he offers with the ultimate, like a Olaf Galio, Camille Galio. Like that itself is just really good engage. It's a
Yeah,
guaranteed.
I mean it is secondary engage too, but a lot of the time they're when they pick the Galio, they have a Jarvan. They had a Jarvan against Tad, but which is a good comp, but really that was just Vex steamrolling the game. So they didn't really have a chance to use it. Um, I mean, they have a lot of these champions that can sometimes, like he can follow up on engages, but to me, Toasty Boy doesn't seem to really be the one engaging. It's mostly just him following up on 99 Forever on things like the Graves or the Vex or just when he Echo when he just gets super fed and just like, all right, boys, let's go. And Toasty's like, all right, cool. Toasty just seems to be there to like get 99 Forever head on like these early game champions, like Nunu, Xin Zhao, Jarvan, and then it's really just on Forever to carry. And if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't seem to really work. Um,
I agree. The
and
new
yeah,
new king.
yeah. So that's kind of like again, like they're a good team. I think they just need if Forever gets ahead, they kind of lose the ability to make comeback plays. And I think Spanaway, as one of the higher ranking people who has um, maybe maybe like a better eye or a better like instinct for this stuff, to just be able to pull the trigger. And you can't do that on Galio. You can't do that on Thresh. You can on Rakan. You can on Rel. You can on Leona. You can on Vi. Like these champions that can just be, all right, I see someone, let's go. Um, I think that's a drawback that I've been seeing. Yeah. And that's
enough.
why they're so low for me. Not so they're fourth, which is still fine. Like, I just think that I've seen more from TKK these past 2 weeks and NYM not this past week, but the couple of weeks before that.
Well, I did post the average power ranking between what all four of us stated.
Yeah, I just gotta say mine real quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So my power rankings, I have TPP 1, GCA 2, LLW third. But I do think LLW and TKK are interchangeable there. Unfortunately, New York fifth. 6 War, 7 TAD, 8 GCC, and 9 Rev. And then the combined ones, which I'll say right now, is going to be number 1 TPP, number 2 GCA, number 3 LLW, number 4 TKK, number 5 New York Mutants, number 6 TAD, number 7 War, number 8 GCC, and number 9 Rev. We are going to put TAD above War just because
it
of the
was
more
tied.
impressive win.
Yeah, it was 2-2, but I put him up to 6 because.
Well, I mean, granted, it's TAD versus GCC, and then it's also War versus Rev. But I guess War FF'd, or Rev FF'd, so I guess TAD gets a little bit of the edge boost on that. And Sunny D did perform very well as well, so we'll see about that.
Yeah, I think with Sunny performing, I think Tad's clearly better than War. I think War's top lane is it's not bad, but I think it's a bit it's they're probably I'd say their weakest point. I'd say it's like a solid B tier, but I think Sunny at his best is like S, and I think if he can abuse that, then it should be pretty easy because War plays for their bot lane. They play like the Samir or the Pike lanes. They play these Tristana. They play aggressive down there, which sometimes leaves top lane just out in the blue. And so I think if much like Peels and TKK did against LLW, I think if they take that approach, then it could be a real just a top diff.
Yeah. I think we basically got everything as well because we already said our matchup of the week is going to be New York Mutants versus LLW because that's going to be really determining of the standings.
Yeah.
And I guess like under the radar matchup, if we're doing that, it's TPP TAD. TKK Rev and GCA GCC are very likely to be 3-0s, just kind of sleeper series. But so I think TPP TAD could maybe 2-1 TPP favor, but could also be a 3-0. But there's more of a upset potential there.
Okay. And then Solomon, do you have anything else you want to say?
I think for TAD it also depends on who their bot lane is going to end up being.
Oh yeah, because they switch those around, don't they?
Yes.
Yes.
I do believe Ace is no longer able to play, so I do wonder how they'll play that out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ace is, I believe, moving to the Singapore.
Yes.
I think he's moving to Singapore for a job.
Ooh.
So.
What are their league servers like? I wonder.
Aren't they in the Garnia ones?
Yeah, they're
Maybe.
Garnia.
Yeah.
They are
Aren't
the
those shit?
they're
Like
the
super.
yeah, they're super shit. They're the gamble ones.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I think he'll play on the Chinese server because he is in Singapore.
Oh, dude, I want to play on the super server so bad. Like that sounds like so much fun. I get rolled,
NA
but like,
is coming. NA is gonna have its own super server soon.
but
I
that's
don't wanna
just
play on- Wait, yeah.
yeah,
That's just like Challenger NA.
yeah,
For now.
yeah.
I think they're gonna open it up. I think the lowest. I think they'll probably have it as like D2,
Oh,
hmm
really?
and then but you probably have to apply to it,
Yeah.
which makes sense
Yeah.
because I would rather have the application process.
Oh, for sure. Like I got to D2. There's no way I belong on the super server. Like you should apply. you,
hmm
you should definitely have to apply.
Okay, I think we got basically everything we did want to say this week
Yeah.
in a relatively quick amount of time. Is there anything else possible?
Yeah. So in terms of my part of the stats page, I my school is in the middle. I had midterms the past couple of weeks, and I have finals coming up, so I'm gonna be super behind. So I need help. So if you would like to help, message me or message one of the moderators, and then get in touch. They can get in touch with me, and then we can set that up. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to be able to be on top of it. The champion stats and the player stats will still be updated. ISO and Nitro will still be doing that, but the team pages will not be. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, I'm just super
So,
overwhelmed right now. Yeah.
let me say this now. SpiritTracks is handling all of the team pages and also
Hmm.
handles the games. So if you want to help with that, that would be very appreciative. Champion stats is only done by ISO, and I do player stats.
Hmm.
So I think, and I also handle rosters, schedule, and standings.
Yeah.
But those are not that hard. I guess I also do awards. Band sheet, I think, is also you, Spirit, is
Yeah,
it
I
not?
do that.
Yeah.
That's like you. I mean, you just write them down and put them in there.
Yeah.
So that's. But yeah. Yeah. So if you
I
just
think
want to
the
help out
band
with a
sheet
couple
is
teams, yeah.
behind, is it?
Yeah, I think it's up for 4 weeks. Let me check my notes. Yeah, so it's up to week 4, so week 5 and week 6 are not inputted yet.
Okay, so then if you guys would like to help out with that, we would appreciate it. I would like a bigger stats team
Mm-hmm.
overall, so that way
Yeah.
things can be a lot easier and a lot smoother as well. And I've also had a request by Violet Cap, and I would like to hold a kind of a community poll in content announcements. If you would be open for me doing total kills, total deaths, total assists on your player sheets for your entire team. Like you'll have games played, and then you'll have the total amount of kills your team has gotten, total amount of deaths, and the total amount of assists. And then I can do kind of like a team KDA overall, something like
Mhm.
that, which I would just have to update later on, and it would be okay with me. I wouldn't mind doing it. It just adds maybe an extra 10 minutes to my routine that already takes me max 15, 20 if I pay attention to it, 40 if I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna write a little thing in content announcements. Just mark it with an exclamation point or check mark or a X. I'm gonna go ahead and write that up for you now. Probably write an article as well coming up soon because apparently I have free rights to write whatever I want. So I'm gonna write some pro stuff, which I think
Oh,
is a lot more interesting. So yeah,
oh dear. I've been asking you to do that for like a year now.
you haven't. You've forgotten. Don't even.
I asked you to do that one meme tweet article.
I was not going to write about why the League of Legends Twitter community is cringe because we already know it's all
Dude, I love
cringe.
the Twitter. It's so funny. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
all for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Mr. Solomon Khan, thank you very much for giving us your time. I don't think we have anything else to say. Any goodbyes you guys want to say? Any shout outs?
Yeah. Goodbye.
yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Solomon, anybody else you want to shout out? Maybe some of your teammates?
Yeah. Shout out to Minisoka's Tom Kinch trolls.
Mm.
Okay.
Spit into the fountain.
Spent the fountain. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Please be safe and don't pull a Mikey. See you all next week or
Wow.
tomorrow, actually. I think I would be able to cast that GCA versus GCC series. I think I'm able to cast every day this week coming up.
That's been rescheduled to Sunday at 9.
Okay, well, that's been rescheduled to Sunday at night. So I will see you here for the TKK versus Rev series on Friday night. But I will also be casting the TAD versus TPP, and unfortunately, I can't cast my own series. So
All right.
that happens. But thank you very much. Uh, go TAD win. I agree. It's very nice to see the supporters here. Potentially, Mikey, do we want to do team jerseys? Huh?
Yeah. I would
Yeah?
like that. I would actually really like that.
Team
Hey,
jerseys?
you don't have to convince me.
Hey.
You don't have to convince me.
I'll look into it. I will I will look into it. I will look for a
We,
website.
we've been looking into it. Mom has some pretty good ideas.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
So
talk to her about it. She sent some templates.
okay, then yeah, we'll talk to mom about that. Hey, look at that! You can get your own little jerseys with your own little player name on it. Hey, that'd be pretty cool. I would
Exactly.
assume that we would give it to the teams for free though, because that would be very rude for us not to give it to them.
Well,
But
I mean, we don't want to pay for it either.
okay, so we just
I mean, we wouldn't charge you extra. We would just charge how much it is to
we
make
would
it.
just charge you wholesale.
Yeah,
Mhm.
wholesale,
Okay,
wholesale. No,
so we charge you
nobody would
wholesale.
be. We wouldn't be making money or anything.
It'd
Yeah,
just be like a cool little memory. Hey, man, remember? You
yeah.
member? I member.
I remember.
All right.
Uh,
So then, any pro play changes that I want to mention before I do go? There's been a ton of news. Check Leaguepedia because G2 Esports just signed their brand new top laner, and it's going to be Broken Blade. So they replaced Wonder with Broken Blade. So that should be absolutely insane. And then Golden Guardians announced their new roster. It's going to be Licorice, Pride Stalker, Ablaze, Lost, and Ale. So Lost has been transferred.
nice.
I agree that Golden Guardians maybe is good. I think they're a mid-tier roster with that. I don't know how good Ale will be, but I also think the biggest question is just Pride Stalker. Anyway, Immortals also got what's it called? Wild Turtle. So Wild Turtle still has a job, which is really good. It makes me happy, even though Wild Turtle is one of the OGs and has been here for such a long time. He's going to be playing in the Destiny with playing in the bot lane with Destiny, and Dignitas also welcomed Biofrost. So that's really good news for Dignitas. I really hope Dignitas is able to do something with that. Uh, this is gonna be a really good, really good off season for memes. My favorite meme so far is TLT, aka Team LEC. Another one is TSM Team Soren Missing, which is a really good meme. I, it's, it's really funny. And then Rift Scuttler also got changed. So I think it's 80% reduced XP and then 35% reduced health. So Blabber, congratulations. You can now get all the Scuttles early game without having to flash for it. It's so good. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining us. I have already said the intro once, I'll say it again. Have a wonderful day. Please try your best to stay safe. It is a crazy time in the world that we live in right now. Remember, don't pull a Mikey and don't pull anything else that none of us would do. Have a wonderful night.
Oh shit. Have a wonderful night.
Yep. See you guys.